Hi friends, so welcome again. So this is fifth video on the handwritten notes on the unified modeling language. So we have covered basics, we have covered requirement phase, we have covered different phases, we have covered sequence diagrams and all that. So today I hope till now we have covered all this part: diagram, sequencing diagram, modeling, data modeling and all that. Today I am going to cover the system design part. Some this was covered. He covered till this part, low level design and all that basics. And then today we'll talk about the high level design activities. Then we'll cover the lower level design and all that in this. Very quickly I'll show you. I won't take much time because I want you to get some idea that how the notes should be prepared on the unified modeling language and all that, UML, and because it is related to object oriented programming also. So high level design, what you can write when you are making the notes, that what are the activities. So in activities we have the constraint, architecture and subsystem details. System constraint would be hardware, data storage, portability, development resources, schedule. System architecture will have different type of architecture could be standalone, client server, 3-tier, n-tier, and then the detail of system layering also is there, that is part of the complete system design in object oriented analysis. Right now next comes subsystem partitioning. So these are, why partitioning is being done, because it helps in making the system more simpler. We can handle the complexity in much better way, higher immunity to change, division to deployment teams, and possibility of reusability and all this there. That's why partitioning is very, very important. When you partition a system into small things, then it becomes very easier to develop, design and maintain. Design, develop and maintain. Now there are some UML notations of partitioning. So this is like called as package. Those who are aware of basics of your object oriented programming languages like Java, so there is one this keyword called package is there, so that's why it is related to this. And this subsystem partitioning is example, same example I have drawn here, which shows the example like shipping, order processing, billing, customer stock. This is also called as a class diagram. If you see here, it is showing the class diagram. Partitioning guidelines are here. Make use of the analysis, conceptual model and PDOM, which we have seen earlier. Investigate reuse possibility, keep high cohesion. In the cohesion I'll cover in some other lecture, is related to software engineering. There are two terms used, coupling and cohesion. Cohesion should be higher, coupling should be low, so that it helps in better maintenance of the software or the system. Right now next type of diagram is called analysis model, where we show the complete flow, and then we have to find out the dependencies also, who is dependent on what, which module is dependent. So all these things you can cover while you're preparing your notes on the unified modeling language. Detail level we have covered. Then in next is the lower level design. It is also called that was high level, so this is low level. It is for verification before coding, automatic code generation. This automatic code generation happens when your design is there and it's a tool, and tool will change that design into code automatically, and one framework will be available. Within that we can put all the logic and everything. Communication between developer. So low level design, this design will help for better communication between the developers, because multiple teams, multiple developers would be working for documentation, seeing the big picture and all that. And design activities, lower level design activities are defining the subsystem, interfaces and all these things, interfaces, scenarios. Design pattern is also part of the lower level design. Design pattern is one of the concept used in unified modeling language and object oriented design and documentation. Then there are few more terms related to UML called abstract data type. This is also covered as a part of object oriented programming, so that also you can write. Then this is diagram shows the abstract data type and how the UML location notations are being defined. Because if you see this diagram, here it is showing your class name, then which function you are going to use. So this will help in generating the code, right? Here also function name and the class name and function name is there. These are some of the example of the previous use case diagram and sequence diagram which we have drawn. So class name would be store order center, and then it will have these functions built in into that particular class. Few more diagrams or examples are there where it shows that how customer class is connected or interfacing with the identified class and all this thing. Lower level design, we implement the abstract data types, we add more classes, we use that concept of inheritance, and all these things are being, methods are also being identified. So design activities would include your sequence modeling, adding the more classes, again modeling is done, and like this the loop will go on continuous basis. This is also one of the you will say sequence modeling, then it shows various I can put it like this, it shows the complete various modules and all these things and how they are interfacing with each other. So all these things are there, and it shows the complete workflow of the order which is being processed, which is being put by the, I would say, by the user, and how the complete processing is being done. We have another I would say diagram called class modeling diagram or class diagram, which has the classes put in there and which are the attributes and methods we are going to use. So this shows the complete class diagram, and it shows the relationship among various classes and all that. So there are different type of relationship and interfaces are there: association, aggregation, composition, generalization, implementation and dependency. These are some of the relationship which are there among or between these classes. So there is like class diagram, and this is customer database. Customer database will have some features and functions. Store customer is another class, billing history is another class, and like that. So all these things are being drawn in a terms of class diagram, and this will put into a tool, and this tool will convert this into the source code. This is how it works. Design pattern is another concept in object oriented design, that it has the standard pattern and how it can be used, how it will help in better reuse or better communication. All those things are also being covered as part of this note. So this was all about some of the brief handwritten notes which you can take some clue from that and prepare those notes as your own. Also a few more diagrams are there which we call it activity modeling diagram. Activity is more of a flow chart, and again this will help in writing the source code, which is showing the complete flow with the various logics are being built, and then it is showing that how it will get converted into the source code. And there is another example of the state model, which how the state is changing of a particular entity, like it is ready state, checking state, and all these things are there, sending. And then finally the implementation will come, where the complete system which is being designed and built is being implemented. Here also automatic code generation all will happen, and then updates will happen, documentation will be done, and finally testing will be done. In testing there will be unit integration and system testing. So we have talked about multiple things in this. We have talked about object oriented design, OO, OOD or OAD, object oriented analysis and design. We have talked about various models like waterfall model and iterative model and all these things. We have talked about various phases: requirement, design, coding, testing, and all that. We have talked about various types of diagrams also which are being used in object oriented methodology. So use case diagram, class diagram, sequence diagram, state diagram, then activity model diagram, all these things are there. And then we have talked about various tool set which are being used in various phases, from requirement to design to coding to implementation. So requirement we have talked about doors, then design we have talked about a rational set of tools. Rational rows is one of the tool, and then for coding also one tool, integrated development environment is being integrated, and that will generate the complete source code. And implementation and testing, for testing we have talked about test manager, and few more tools are there which is being used for testing of the complete application which is being designed. So this was, friends, this was all about the some of the handwritten notes which I had. I wanted to show you how to prepare that note, so you can start, you can highlight, you can make it, point by point, and see that how. And this will definitely help the all type of branch students, be it IT, CS, electronics, electrical, and those who are from other branch, they also want to learn about various methodology used in software. For them also definitely it will be of great help. Thank you so much for watching.